Hi, today we're going to start talking about faces, but not our faces, animal faces, although we are animals. But there's a lot of similarities between drawing our own faces and animal faces, so it's a perfect place to start. Okay, let's get started. Here's material you will need.
Today we're going to be doing some drawing, but it's a sketching day, so if you have a whiteboard at home, that would be fantastic. Here's some items you could use. Of course, you could use pencil and paper if you don't have a whiteboard and you want an eraser. If you are lucky to have a whiteboard, fantastic. You'll need a whiteboard, you'll need some Expo markers and something to erase with. Maybe you have an actual eraser, or maybe you just get a paper towel or a tissue. That works. But if you don't have a whiteboard, here's a trick. Again, you need something. This is a sleeve. You put a paper protector in it. So put in a regular piece of white paper or something. It could be a colored paper, but something light, right? And we're going to put that inside. And that just gives us a white background. Then I can use my Expo markers and write on it. And guess what? It will be easily erased with your paper towel or your eraser. So either any of these objects will work. I like when I'm sketching like this today to use my whiteboard. So if you have one, pull that one out. All right, let's get started.
Okay, so now that we know what we need, let's move on. Faces are symmetrical. Specifically, they have reflectional symmetry. So you might be saying, what is reflectional symmetry? Right? You can go back to reflection, right? I see something in a mirror, that's my reflection. So when I talk about reflection symmetry, it's the ability to visually or physically actually divide an image or an object in half with a line, and then the info on both sides of the line are identical. Oof, that's a lot of words. So basically, if I were to draw a line down the center of my face, whatever's on this side is the same as on this side. Some things are only symmetrical vertically. Some things are symmetrical vertically and horizontally. All right, so we're going to draw some animals today. And here's what I want to make sure that you pay attention to. When we draw animals, I want you to be completely aware of the idea that they're symmetrical. So when you go and draw something, whatever you put on one side, you better do on the other side. If you were to put a line down the center, whatever is on this side, even if it's only half of something, is equal to whatever's on this side, okay? So in addition to that, I want you to start looking for shapes. When you want to draw, the easiest way to really get good at drawing, really train that artist eye, is to recognize that everything is just made up of lines and shapes. If you can find the lines and shapes, you can draw, and you can draw pretty much anything. Take a look. Here's an animal. It's a fox. It is symmetrical. I put the line down the center, but whatever's on one side is the same as whatever's on the other side. Okay. Please pause this video and try to draw this chipmunk. His head only. Remember, symmetry and shapes. Go ahead, pause. I hope you paused. Pause. Okay, we're back. Hopefully you paused, and now we're back because that's what I'm expecting. So you drew the chipmunk. Now I'm going to give you a little idea of how you should have gone. Your head should have worked on this chipmunk and your hand. All right, so if you were doing symmetry and shapes, first thing you might have said to yourself is, if I drew a line down the center, is he symmetrical? For the most part, somebody took a photograph, he was a little turned, right? But we know that he's symmetrical. So yeah, he's symmetrical. Then you would say to yourself, well, Mrs. Szymanski said look for the shapes. I am going to look for the shapes. Where are they? Geometric shapes also. Let's see. I might see a circle near the top portion of his head. I might see two circles or maybe kind of ovalish ones for his big puffy cheeks. I might have saw that triangle with the fur that was created kind of the top of his head. Maybe it was a triangular shape. I might have saw the two triangles for the ears. The oval that kind of makes the bottom of his head, like the chin. The oval that makes his mouth so he can nibble all those nuts that he hunts for. The triangle that makes his nose. The ovals that make his eyes. And then you might say, I think with all those shapes, I kind of made something that looks chipmunkish. Let's find out. Here is my background, my paper, no shapes. Let's try to just do the shapes, no photograph. So I'm just going to kind of run through all the shapes I had seen and draw them down. Is that a chipmunk? Oh, I think it is. I think it's very chipmunk-ish. All right, if I were to draw that, one of the last things I might do is go ahead and put the outside line on that. It's called a contour line. All right, you ready to try again? Here's that fox again. Go ahead, if you'd like, pause the video now and try drawing this fox. But again, look for the shapes, biggest shapes first. If you're not pausing and you're moving with me right now to the second slide, you'll see I've got a nice video to walk you through it. Here we go.
Okay, I think we're ready. You've got your materials. I'm going to use a whiteboard. First thing, I got to see what direction should it be. I think for a fox, I'm going to turn my board horizontally. Now, here's what I don't want you to do. I don't want you to start with the contour outside line. Could you draw like this? Sure. Might you be able to come up with a okay drawing of a fox? Absolutely. But what we're trying to do is learn to see the shapes in items so we can draw anything. So, no contour. We want to start with shapes and then lines. All right, that is our goal today. Shapes starting with the biggest to the smallest, and then we'll add in some helpful lines. So I'm looking at this fox. For the main overall head, the biggest shape I see is a circle. Now I'm going to go do his ears. Now we're organic. An animal is organic, but we're not going to draw organic shapes. We're going to do traditional geometric shapes. So I'm not going to say triangle-ish or circle-ish. I want you to draw those geometric shapes. Now, they're sketchy. Now, I'm seeing in the fur color changes a diamond in the center and then kind of a triangle that created with that lighter fur at the top. I'm also seeing kind of a triangle that kind of creates the top portion of the nose and mouth area, and then a semicircle for the kind of lip and where the mouth would open. I also think that that triangle gets more rounded, so I'm putting two circles over top of it. There'll be a lot of overlapping. I want to add more, but I'm starting to get a little confused. So I'm going to pull out my eraser and start to erase the lines that are overlapping from our shapes, the lines that shouldn't be there. We learned about this some when we did our landscapes. Overlap some things, but then you can go back and erase what shouldn't be there. Okay, I think it's a little bit cleaner. I'm starting to see some stuff and I can do more drawing. Remember, I went from biggest to smallest. I think I'm at the point now where I could throw in those eyes. We're at that right size. Ooh, he's starting to come along. I also see these two kind of circles created by the white circles in the cheeks, so I'm going to add those in. Let's see. I want to take a look, see how well I've done. I'm going to go and darken in that outside contour line, which, look, was created by those overlapping shapes. I'm going to go ahead and overlap those inside parts that I want to keep. I think I'm going to add, oh, I forgot the nose. Look at me. Let me add an, ooh, this guy's coming along. Maybe now I'll do some lines like the whiskers. Let me put in that inside mark of the ears, a couple lines for a neck. We're not doing a body, just a head, but I don't want it floating. I'm going to get rid of these as a diamond because that color kind of stops there. He's really coming along. But if you're thinking, I could do better, get out your eraser and let's try again. The more you try to find the shapes, the better you'll do. Practice. Good luck.
Okay, hopefully you watch this video. Now you can always watch it again and kind of pause and do some stuff on your own, here's where I'm going to be leaving you today. I'm going to leave you today with trying to draw this fox, not just once, not just twice. That's why I like the whiteboard, because we're not using up a bunch of paper and we're practicing shapes and symmetry. So you could try drawing the fox again, or if you'd like to go back to that chipmunk, I think he's actually pretty fun to do as well. If you want to hunt for some more animals on the internet, just make sure you're looking for some that are just kind of close-ups of just the face. And you could try a body too, but just the face, and that it is straight on to the camera so that you can see the symmetry in the animal and try to find those shapes. Good luck. Have fun. I'll see you here next week.